Alina walks through the gates of her childhood home, her heart full of warmth and hope. After years away at university, she's finally back, ready to reconnect with the place that holds the last memories of her late mother. Her eyes light up as she looks around, soaking in every corner that shaped her early years. Since losing her mother at 15, she had been under the care of her stepfather, Mr. Farid, a man who never showed much affection, but always made sure she had everything she needed. He paid for her education, supported her lifestyle, and never let her struggle financially. Though their bond was cold, she trusted that his distance came from grief, not malice. Alina always believed she was the only one he truly had, and that one day, everything her mother left behind would rightfully be hers. With peace in her heart and a small smile on her face, she steps inside, unaware that her return will change everything. Alina steps into her old room, expecting comfort, but stops cold. Something feels wrong. The walls, once covered with photos of her childhood and her mother's smiling face, are now bare. In their place are posters and pictures of someone she doesn't recognize. Young, loud, and completely unfamiliar. Her books are missing. The cozy things that made the space hers have been removed. Her heart sinks. It no longer feels like home. Confused, she walks through the hallway, searching for answers. In the living room, she sees a woman she doesn't know, sitting comfortably with a cup of tea, acting like she belongs. Mr. Farid introduces her as Meher, his wife, and beside her, a boy stands awkwardly. He's about 16, quiet but observant. His name is Danny. Alina forces a smile, still trying to process everything. She wasn't told about any of this. Meher greets her warmly, too warmly, her voice sweet, but with something hidden underneath. There's a sparkle in her eye that doesn't feel friendly. Mr. Farid barely speaks. His eyes avoid hers. The way he stands, the way he keeps glancing at Meher, as if waiting for her to say the right thing. It all feels strange. He used to be distant, yes, but now it's like she's a stranger in her own house. Meher makes casual comments during dinner, saying things like, "Every family goes through changes," and "fresh starts are healthy." She mentions how Danny is settling in beautifully, and how the house finally feels alive again. Alina tries to smile, but each word feels like a small cut, hinting at something she can't quite see yet. Later that night, she walks through the halls and notices more signs. Her mother's favorite vase is gone. The family photo on the mantel has been replaced with a new one. Mr. Farid, Meher, and Danny smiling together like they've been a family for years. Her stomach turns. She opens drawers only to find her belongings packed away. It's like she's been erased. Danny looks at her with a smirk whenever Meher praises him, as if he knows something she doesn't. Alina tries asking Mr. Farid about the changes, but he brushes her off with short, clipped answers. "Things evolve," he says. "You've been away a long time." He doesn't ask about her studies, her plans, her life. He doesn't even seem happy to see her. Meher, meanwhile, hovers like a shadow, always watching, always commenting, making sure Alina hears every subtle hint that this is no longer her space. She sits alone in the garden that night, the same place her mother used to take her to tell bedtime stories. The air feels heavier. Her heart is full of questions she's afraid to ask. What happened while she was gone? Why does everything feel like it's shifting beneath her feet? The smiles are too fake. The silences are too long. And through it all, Danny watches from the window, eyes sharp and unreadable. Alina senses it now. Something isn't right. Something is being hidden, and she's no longer sure this house holds a place for her anymore. One evening, as Alina walks past the study, soft voices catch her attention. She stops. The door is slightly open, and inside, Meher and Mr. Farid are speaking in urgent whispers. Their tone is sharp, almost panicked. Alina holds her breath and listens closely. She hears Meher say something about needing to finalize the documents before the will reading. And Mr. Farid responds quickly, telling her to stay calm and that everything will be handled before anyone notices. Alina's heart begins to pound. The words echo in her head. What documents? What will? Why the secrecy? She steps back quietly, her mind spinning. A knot forms in her stomach. She waits for them to leave the room, then walks in. Nothing seems out of place, but the air feels heavier now. That night, she barely sleeps. She keeps replaying the conversation in her head, trying to make sense of it. The next morning, she walks into the dining room and faces Mr. Farid directly. Her voice is steady, but her eyes are full of questions. She asks him what he and Meher were talking about. He looks up slowly, a frown settling on his face. Instead of answering, He tells her to focus on her future and not worry about things that don't concern her. There's a sharp edge to his voice. He avoids eye contact and shifts in his chair. Alina pushes again, but he gets up and walks away, saying coldly that everything will become clear soon. The wall between them grows even higher. She watches him leave, her heart sinking deeper. Something is happening behind her back, and she's being kept in the dark. Feeling lost, Alina decides to visit the family lawyer, an older man who had been close to her mother. She walks into his office, hoping he might explain what's going on. He greets her politely, but with a tight smile. She asks him about the will, about the documents, about what Mr. Farid and Meher are planning. The lawyer listens quietly, then leans back and sighs. He tells her that he cannot say anything until the formal reading. His hands are tied by legal rules. Alina begs him, her voice cracking, but he doesn't move. She leaves the office feeling even more confused. The streets outside feel colder, and the world around her suddenly seems unfamiliar. Everything she thought she knew is shifting. Her stepfather is hiding something. Meher is clearly involved. And the lawyer, someone she thought she could trust, won't help her. The silence around her becomes louder than words. Her mind is full of worry, but also a growing fire of suspicion. The calm she felt when she returned is gone. Now there's only tension, doubt, and a deep fear that something has already been taken from her, and she doesn't even know what it is yet. The day of the will reading arrives. Alina walks into the lawyer's office, her steps unsure but hopeful. She glances around the room. Mr. Farid sits with a straight face. Meher holds Danny's hand, her eyes filled with fake warmth, and Danny looks calm, too calm, with a strange little grin tugging at his lips. Alina sits across from them, trying to steady her breathing. The lawyer enters, holding a thick folder. The room falls quiet. The air feels tight, heavy, like something big is about to crash down. The lawyer clears his throat and begins to read. At first, it's all formal. Standard words, legal terms. Alina listens carefully, waiting to hear her name. But then, something unexpected happens. The lawyer announces that the estate, property, and all assets will go to Danny, not Alina. Not the girl raised in this house. Not the daughter of the woman who built this life. Her name isn't mentioned, not even once. It's as if she never existed. Her breath catches. She blinks, trying to understand if she heard it right. Her fingers grip the edge of her chair. Meher places a hand over her chest and sighs, pretending to be shocked, but her eyes shine with satisfaction. Danny leans back with a small smirk, like he's won some secret game. Mr. Farid avoids Alina's gaze. The silence in the room is louder than any words. Time slows. The lawyer lowers the papers, and for a moment, no one speaks. Alina's heart pounds in her ears. She feels the floor slipping beneath her. Her chest tightens, and she struggles to hold her tears back. The people sitting across from her feel like strangers now. Betrayal fills every corner of the room. Her mind is screaming, but she says nothing. She just stares, stunned, at the man who was supposed to protect her. The man who promised, even silently, that he would always look out for her after her mother died. As the room begins to clear and people get up, the lawyer walks over to Alina. He doesn't say anything. He just slips a small folded note into her hand when no one's watching. His face is tense, eyes full of something close to guilt. She hides the paper quickly, not sure what it means, but clings to it like it's her last thread of hope. She leaves the office, the paper still tightly clutched in her hand. Her world has been turned upside down. The things she believed in, the people she trusted, have all shattered in one moment. Her name has been erased, and a boy she barely knows now holds everything that once belonged to her family. She doesn't know what the note says, but something deep inside tells her this is just the beginning. Later that night, in the quiet of her room, Alina opens the small note the lawyer had slipped into her hand. Her hands tremble as she reads the short message. Meet me tomorrow. Come alone. Urgent. Her heart races. She doesn't know what to expect, but something tells her this meeting could change everything. The next day, she arrives at the lawyer's office. His face is serious, more than before. Without saying much, he closes the door, locks it, and walks over to a locked drawer. He pulls out a thick, sealed envelope, stamped with the word confidential in bold red letters. He places it gently in front of her. Your mother wanted you to have this, he says quietly. Alina slowly opens it, eyes wide with emotion. Inside, she finds handwritten letters, soft, worn, filled with love. Her mother's handwriting brings tears to her eyes. Each word feels like a whisper from the past. The letters speak of hope, fear, and a deep wish to protect her daughter, even from beyond the grave. One letter stands out. In it, her mother writes about how she always intended for Alina to inherit everything. She feared Mr. Farid's coldness and warned of trusting him too easily. Beneath the letters, there's another paper, an official document, stamped and notarized, her mother's original will. Alina reads through it, her eyes filling with disbelief. It clearly names her as the sole heir. Her name is there, signed and sealed, undeniable proof that everything should have belonged to her. The lawyer looks down, guilt heavy in his eyes. He explains that after her mother's death, Mr. Farid used influence and power to block the document from being filed. He rushed a new will into place, removing Alina completely and replacing her with Danny. The truth cuts deeper than anything she has felt so far. She sits in silence, trying to absorb the weight of this betrayal. Her mother had tried to protect her. Her words, written in those fragile letters, were filled with love and warning. Alina realizes now that none of this was an accident. Everything had been carefully planned and hidden away. Her stepfather, the man who raised her with cold hands and fake promises, had stolen her future while pretending to care. But something shifts inside her. She is no longer the broken girl sitting in shock at a will reading. Now she holds the truth in her hand, real evidence, her mother's voice, her rightful place. Her heart aches, but her eyes sharpen. This isn't over. She's not going to stay quiet. Not anymore. With the secret file pressed to her chest, Alina walks out of that office with a new fire burning inside her. The time for silence has ended. As Alina reads the final letter, her thoughts drift far back. A memory forms. Soft light spills across the garden, where laughter once echoed. Her mother, gentle and loving, tends to the flowers while young Alina runs beside her. Peace fills those early days. Then a figure steps in, elegant, smooth-talking, kind-eyed. Mr. Farid enters their lives like a calm storm. He offers comfort, security, promises. Grief had left Alina's mother vulnerable. His affection felt like safety, and slowly she let him in. Their wedding is simple, quiet. Smiles cover silent questions from distant relatives. Gradually, familiar faces stop appearing. Her mother, once surrounded by friends, grows isolated. Calls are unanswered, visits refused. Mr. Farid insists outsiders carry ill intentions. He paints a picture where only he understands her pain. With every passing week, he becomes the center of her world, gently pushing everyone else away. Illness creeps in silently. Her mother, once vibrant, begins to weaken. Doctor visits lessen. She grows pale, quiet, tired. Mr. Farid manages her medications, speaks for her at appointments, and handles every official task. Paperwork arrives, pages full of legal language. He tells her it's necessary for managing things smoothly. Trusting his words, she signs. There's no energy to question. The documents disappear into drawers she no longer opens. Her world shrinks to one room, one voice, one man. As her condition worsens, fear sets in. One evening, tears stream down her face as she pulls out a notebook. Her hands tremble, but determination fuels her. She writes with urgency, explaining everything. Her voice cracks with sorrow and guilt. She speaks to Alina, telling her of the manipulation, the papers, the stolen choices. She confesses regret for falling into a carefully laid trap. Her words carry deep love, a mother's final plea for her daughter to rise stronger than the web that held them both. She hides the envelope, making sure it reaches the only person she believes might protect it, the family lawyer. Her breathing slows as she finishes. She gazes out the window, watching leaves dance under moonlight. Her final act is one of courage, not defeat. Though her body weakens, her spirit remains fierce for Alina. Back in the present, Alina's hands tighten around the letter. Her chest aches, but her resolve grows sharper. Each word confirms everything inside her. The truth was never buried, only delayed. Her mother's voice, full of pain and strength, calls her to action. The warmth of those garden memories clashes with the cold betrayal she now understands. She rises slowly, no longer just a daughter grieving, now a woman carrying truth. Justice isn't only about reclaiming property, it's about giving voice to someone silenced too soon. That memory, soaked in sorrow and bravery, lights a fire in her heart that nothing can put out. Alina steps out of the lawyer's office with a different look in her eyes. No more tears. No more helplessness. Everything has changed. Her hands might still shake, but her mind is clear. The truth is now her greatest weapon. She doesn't rush, doesn't panic. She knows this fight needs patience, precision, and quiet steps. The game has already started, and she intends to win it without letting anyone sense what's coming. At home, her face shows nothing. She smiles at Meher, chats politely with Danny, and nods when Mr. Farid speaks. She blends in, acting like she knows nothing. But behind closed doors, her work begins. Late at night, she pulls out her phone and starts recording conversations. Soft whispers from Meher about property, quiet calls between Mr. Farid and his business partners. Everything is captured. Her voice never rises. She speaks gently, letting them feel safe, while gathering every word that can be used later. During the day, she walks through the house like she's just exploring old memories. In reality, she's searching, looking through drawers, unlocking cabinets, finding receipts, papers, signatures. Each piece builds the puzzle further. The more she uncovers, the stronger her case becomes. She keeps everything hidden, stored carefully in places only she can access. There's no room for error. She meets the lawyer in secret, handing him the growing pile of evidence. His surprise is clear. He hadn't expected her to be this determined. Together, they lay out the plan. The forged documents, the manipulated signatures, the stolen inheritance. They're going to challenge it all, not just to reclaim what's hers, but to reveal the truth. Alina isn't just fighting for wealth anymore. She's fighting for justice, for her mother, for herself. Back home, her performance continues. She sits at dinner, nodding along to Danny's shallow stories, listening to Meher's fake kindness. Mr. Farid watches her sometimes, trying to read her, but she gives nothing away. Every smile is calculated. Every reply is carefully chosen. They don't see the strength building under her calm surface. They believe she's accepted her fate. That's exactly what she wants them to think. Even when doubts creep in, she reminds herself of the letters, the will, her mother's words. They guide her like light through darkness. Her fear hasn't disappeared. It's still there, hiding in her chest. But now it moves alongside courage. She's not rushing revenge. She's building something bigger, something undeniable. Step by step, moment by moment, she is turning herself into someone they can't silence. Every night, she reviews what she's gathered. Every day, she plays her part perfectly. The girl who once returned home with hope is gone. In her place stands someone unbreakable, someone who now controls the story. The silence that once hurt her now shields her. Behind it, a storm is growing. They don't know it yet, but Alina is no longer surviving. She's preparing, and when the moment arrives, nothing will stop her. The house is decorated, lights sparkle across the garden, and guests fill the space with polite laughter. Mr. Farid and Meher move confidently among the crowd, smiles fixed as they prepare to announce Danny as the rightful heir. Music plays softly in the background, food is served, and glasses clink in celebration. Alina stands quietly in a corner, watching every movement. Her heart beats steady, not from fear, but from focus. The moment has come. As Mr. Farid steps forward to speak, inviting everyone's attention, Alina walks to the center of the gathering. The music fades. Conversations stop. All eyes turn to her. Without raising her voice, she calmly says she has something important to share. Confused murmurs rise. Mr. Farid tries to dismiss her, but she doesn't back away. She pulls out her phone and presses play. The audio fills the air. Clear recordings of private talk. Words from Meher and Mr. Farid planning the takeover. Gasps echo around the garden. Faces shift from curious to shocked. Then she opens a folder. Letters appear, handwritten notes from her mother. Legal papers signed and sealed. She passes copies to guests. Some of them old family friends and former business partners. Witnesses she quietly contacted earlier now step forward. Old staff, a loyal friend of her mother's, even the lawyer who hid the truth too long. Mr. Farid's face changes. He shouts, trying to twist the story, but his rage only confirms everything. The calm mask he wore for years cracks in front of everyone. He blames Alina, accuses her of lies, but no one believes him now. The evidence is too strong, the truth too clear. Meher stands frozen, eyes darting. She starts to speak. pretending she knew nothing, but her earlier words caught on tape betray her. The guests step back. The crowd, once celebrating, now looks at the couple with disgust. Meher's excuses fall apart as more facts are revealed. She tries to leave quietly, but someone blocks her path. The room is thick with tension. Alina stands in the middle, no longer the girl pushed aside. She speaks with quiet strength, telling the truth not just for herself, but for her mother. The courtroom is packed. Reporters whisper from the back benches, papers rustle, and eyes follow every move. Alina sits straight, calm but firm, as the judge steps in. Days of testimony have led to this moment. Witnesses spoke, documents were examined, recordings played in full. The truth, once hidden, now stands tall in the center of the room. Mr. Farid sits in silence, his lawyer tense beside him. Meher avoids everyone's gaze, while Danny fidgets, lost in confusion. The judge reviews everything once more before delivering the decision. The original will, written by Alina's mother, is legally confirmed. Every right, every asset, every property is returned to Alina. The courtroom breaks into quiet murmurs. Relief, surprise, and justice mix in the air. But the ruling doesn't stop there. The judge announces that Mr. Farid will face legal consequences for forging documents and manipulating a dying woman. Meher's involvement is also noted, and both she and her son are ordered to leave the estate immediately. They stand with no words, their power gone, their lies exposed. After the session ends, the lawyer who once stayed silent approaches Alina. His eyes are heavy with guilt. He tells her he's sorry for waiting so long, for not protecting what was rightfully hers. She nods. Her voice is soft but steady. She tells him she understands, but she won't forget. Some wounds take time to heal, even when justice is served. Later that evening, Alina visits a quiet graveyard. She walks alone, holding a small envelope in her hand. It's the original will, signed, sealed, now safe. She kneels by her mother's grave, places it gently down, and whispers a few words. There are no tears, only a deep, quiet peace. A promise kept, a battle won, a daughter finally standing on her own. The wind moves gently around her, almost like a presence watching. Alina closes her eyes, and for the first time in years, feels her heart let go of the weight it carried. The past cannot be changed, but the truth has been honored. Her mother's voice still lives in every choice she now makes. And this moment, silent and simple, marks a new beginning. The grand house that once held shadows now buzzes with purpose. Walls that were once cold and distant are being repainted with soft, warm colors. Rooms are filled with books, desks, and quiet conversations. Women walk through the halls, some with tears in their eyes, others with calm determination. Alina stands among them, gently guiding, listening, and offering strength. The estate, once a place of control and manipulation, has turned into a shelter of hope and support. Outside, the garden blooms brighter than ever. Flowers line the walkway leading to the entrance, where a new sign reads, "Resilience Legal Aid for Women." The same hands that once felt powerless now sign documents for those needing help. Former victims now return as mentors. The energy is strong, uplifting. Laughter mixes with stories of survival. Alina watches quietly from the steps, heart full, eyes soft with peace. Inside her office, she keeps a framed letter, her mother's final words. It's simple, handwritten, and full of love. Those words play softly in the background as a voiceover. Her mother speaks about choosing truth, even when it's hard, about standing firm when the world pushes you down, and about how real strength often grows from pain. As those lines are heard, scenes show women walking into the center with fear and walking out with confidence. One room is filled with files, each a different case being handled. Another has a circle of chairs where stories are shared and healing begins. Volunteers answer calls, legal advisors give guidance, and survivors find each other. Every corner of the house reflects change. As the day comes to a close, Alina steps outside. She looks up at the sky, the light falling gently on her face. The camera slowly pulls away. She stands strong, her back straight, her eyes forward. The home behind her is no longer a place of pain, but a symbol of everything she fought for. Justice, truth, and healing now live where silence once did. Her journey has ended, but a new one begins, for many more.